Good morning, everyone. We're gonna wait just a minute while everybody gets logged in. We're excited to get going. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I know there's a few of you still getting logged in, but I want to welcome you to our webinar Wednesday, moved to a Thursday this week. Today we have Christopher Sherman from Legrand on with us today. He's going to share some exciting information about charging into the future with Legrand. So we're so excited that you could join us today. I'll be running the slides for Christopher from my end, so he's going to make sure to let me know when to get those slides running for you. We do have a couple of polls that we'll be asking throughout the seminar. So as we put those up, please be sure to interact with us so we can get some good information from you guys. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Christopher.
All right, terrific. Well, thank you very much, Emma. I appreciate that. If you could go to the next slide, we'll get our title slide here. And there we are. So charging into the future with Legrand. Once again, my name is Chris Sherman, and I am the National Builder Sales Manager for the Central U.S. here for Legrand. I've been with Legrand for the last 4 years, and really enjoy working with all the builders. That's my task, is to help builders with specification work for our products, as well as to help train and educate builders on what's coming down the technology pipeline. I live here in McKinney, Texas. I have 4 children and my wife of 22 years next week. I enjoy vacationing. As you can see in the background, I got a picture of an island. And in addition to that, I also enjoy cooking, primarily smoking meat. It's a Texas thing, so some of you might understand that as well. We're going to get started here. Let me start with our agenda. If you could go to the next slide. We're going to talk a little bit about EV charging, kind of give you the who, where, what, and why, and then we'll delve into USB charging, and finally I'll review with you our residential collections and make sure you know who on your team or who on my team you need to talk to. We split the country up into 3 different sections, so we'll give you that information as well. Next slide. So welcome to Charging in the Future. Today we're going to explore the exciting world of solutions designed to be faster. Ooh, and I think we're in a slowdown. Okay, here we go. Designed to be faster, designed to be better for residential homes. The average American, if you didn't know right now, has 1.2 mobile phones. And the average home has over 22 connected devices. So that's a lot of devices that you're going to need to power, charge, and control. And with this, all this power and charging going into the home, the rise of EV charging at home is not slowing down. In addition to tablets, phones, and other devices, more and more homeowners are charging their cars at home now too. And the number of EVs is projected to hit 27 million by 2030 and 92 million by 2040. So the time is really now to charge into the future. And with that, we'll start with our first poll question. Next slide. So I'll read it for you here. What percentage of new homes are EV charging ready? And your options are 10, 25, 50, or 75%.
It looks like we have most everybody has participated. So I'll go ahead and close the poll for you and we'll see what our results are.
Oh, okay, let's see what we got. He says 90% say 10% of the homes are ready, and 10% say 25%. Well, that's interesting. Let's move on to the next slide. So we're going to talk about EV charging here. Actually, it's the next one, sorry. That one. And a full, and just so you know, the answer to the poll question is actually a full 50% of homes are EV charging ready. That means they have the infrastructure available to provide a EV charger. And with that, we're going to go into our EV chargers here. Next slide. So as I mentioned, one of the fastest growing opportunities in North America is EV charging, and it's driven by the overall macro trend of electrifying and adopting the electric vehicles. Based on different statistical models, upwards of 30% of the vehicles on the road in the US alone by 2030 will be battery or hybrid electric vehicles. And ultimately, each and every one of these vehicles will need to be charged. In order to close that gap, it is determined that approximately 24 million private chargers will be needed in the next 7 years. And studies are showing that about 80% of these chargers will be located at the home. That's both in multifamily and single family settings. Next slide, please. So here we have the need for speed. And really, when it comes to vehicle charging, there's a lot of information that you need to know, but this is where we need to start. And that is at the level. So electric charging is broken down in 3 different levels: level 1, level 2, level 3. As you can see here, it goes from fast to faster to fastest. And ultimately, the level 1 charger is typically what's provided by the automobile manufacturers. And it's a single plug-in 120-volt outlet that plugs into the wall and connects directly to the vehicle. And what you're going to see there and notice is that it's going to give you about an average of 3 to 5 miles per hour of charging, and it's going to take a full 30 to 40 hours to charge from 10% to 80%. So although I labeled this this section fast, it's not very fast at all. When you step into the level 2, you go from 120 volt to a 240 volt outlet. And the advantage there is you get a bigger pipe to send electricity to the vehicle. It shows here that there's a 12 to 80 mile range per hour of charging. And typically it takes anywhere between 2.5 to 4.5 hours to go from 10% to 80%. This is ideally the market for residential charging. And the reason that is, and the reason we talked about 50% of the homes being ready for electrical charging, is there's no necessary upgrades to the transformer for level 2 charging. When you step into level 3 charging, that is more of a DC fast charger, and you probably recognize those as Tesla chargers that you see across your neighborhoods and streets, where they tout a much faster charger, but there's a lot of infrastructure required. There's an upgrade in transformers and things of that nature to make sure that you can provide the power necessary to charge this fast. And in fact, some of the vehicles on the market today are not even equipped to handle this charge and move the necessary, or take advantage of the necessary power that the level 3 chargers are delivering. Obviously, Tesla being one of them that is available, and that does do that. As you can see here, the charge has gone super fast from charging your entire vehicle in 30 to 40 minutes. So it's a great option, but not, I guess, from a economic standpoint, it's not really viable for the single family home market. So we're going to be focusing in on level 2. And we have the next slide, we have a testimonial from one of our builders. And I hope everybody was able to hear that. The audio wasn't coming through on my end, but I want to thank Ben from SLC Homes for doing that testimonial for us. They're offering our level 2 charger as an option in their homes, and found some success with it. So let's talk a little bit about what you need as a home builder to make sure that you have everything in place for an EV ready home. And here's the 3 categories we list this in. We have EV capable, EV ready, and EV installed. And really, as you go up, it's just providing more and more infrastructure for the homeowner to be able to charge their car. The EV capable is really taking a wire and preparing your switch box to have a 60 amp outlet, and running that wire to a dual gang wall plate, typically located somewhere near the panel, usually in the garage, and then just putting that 2 gang wall plate, blank 2 gang wall plate right over that, having the wiring available when the homeowner wants to upgrade. The next step would be EV ready, and this would be providing a 240 volt outlet onto that wiring, and basically having that, again, usually in the garage or in an outside carport location where they can add on a charger as they'd like. And that would be a level 2 charger that they would add on. And then finally would be installed. And this is, as we see here, only adding in the charger. So adding a direct connection charger that you can package with the home to be essentially infrastructure that allows them to add their to charge their car as soon as they move in. So this is one of the options, and probably the best to make sure you're equipped. Next slide. This gives you a little idea of the accessories needed. Normally, you use these products already in the house in your laundry rooms. There's a 50 amp electrical outlet, as well as a wall plate and a back box. So it's pretty standard, and I'm sure all your electricians are aware of this. This is a great way to have essentially the infrastructure there for the homeowner once they moved in, and all they have to do is add the level 2 charger. We also offer products in this category for outdoor as well. So if there is no garage, or if it's a carport or something like that, will be the elements will be getting to it. We have that option for you as well. Next slide, please. So perhaps the most obvious way really to meet EV readiness is the third area that we talked about, and that is having the EV installed in the homes. When an EV charger is permanently installed, what we do is we recommend, in this case, that builders install the level 2 charger, because obviously that's going to meet their needs as far as being able to charge overnight and make everything super easy for your homeowner. Now, we understand in many cases builders would try and sell this as an upgrade and not offer it as a standard feature, because you really don't know who's going to be moving in an EV car. But we want to make sure that you get this get it spec'd in, so you understand exactly how this thing operates. We offer 2 different versions of this charger, and as you can see, it's somewhat compact. But this one that I'm showing here is the direct wire charger, and it wires in direct. The advantage of that is you get the fastest charging possible out of a level 2 charger, the direct wire. We also offer a plug-in version, and the plug-in version steps down the ability to do current output from 48 amps to 40 amps. So it charges just a little bit slower, but it really depends on how you're planning on rolling this out in the municipalities in which you build. So along with that, both chargers come with an 18 cord, and like a charger caddy where you can plug it in when it's not in use. One of the things that, I believe we had a question early on that was asked is this is a non-network charger. So all that means is when I say non-network is it's not connected to the internet in any way. It does not have any software. And we chose to do that on our initial launch, primarily because each and every car manufacturer has its own software built in to the car that will allow you to control the electric vehicle charger. So if you wanted to, for instance, the question was asked if you wanted to only charge to 80%, you can set that up in your car manufacturer's app, and it'll allow you to do that. So this is, for lack of a better term, is a dumb charger. It does its only job, and that job is to charge it once you plug it in the vehicle. There is some feedback settings on the front of the charger and lights, and there's a little code indicator on the side that tells you what the lights mean. So there is some communication that it will do, but for all intents and purposes, it's really just like plugging your phone into the wall. Next slide. All right, so I wanted to lay out a few product roadmaps because we do have a few things coming out within the next quarter here to let you know that there are some highly requested products that we think you may be interested in. The first one is the pedestal mount for non-networked chargers. That pedestal mount, again, will allow you to place that in a carport location and mount the charger directly to it. This is, again, great for outdoor installations where you don't have any place to put the charger. And then the second one is a wall mount cable retractor. Some people want to have the cleanliness and the I guess the ease of bringing the charger back into the wall without having to wrap the cord themselves manually. This is a great option for that. And again, those will both be out in Q1. We'll step on to the next slide. So incentives. So this is a big part of what's going on in the EV charger world right now. We have, and if you scan these QR codes, there's plenty of incentives that the government's offering for you to install these products into the home. The money is there to be to build the infrastructure, and so there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. We've included some links here for you so that you have those and you can look at what's going on in your state or municipality in ways of incentives for doing EV charging. So that'll be our last slide on EV charging. So next we're going to go into USB charging. So let's talk a little bit about that. Next slide. So as I said earlier, the average American owns 1.2 mobile phones, and ultimately the need for charging USB outlets is more and more relevant as we go forward. We're going to talk today a little bit about what's coming down the pipeline in way of products that need to be charged via USB, as well as the solutions that we offer and the range of solutions that we offer. So if you go to the next slide, please, Emma. The world is becoming increasingly more mobile and connected, and with 80% of the global population already being mobile subscribers, it's really no surprise that network devices are going to reach 29 billion. With 8 billion people on the earth, that's 3 times the amount of products than people in the world today. So recent surveys indicate that smartphones have an integral part of people's lives, and 79% of the respondents state that devices make them more productive. 60% of people reported feeling anxious when their cell phone battery is low or dead, and it emphasized just how important it is for us to stay connected at all times. The average person charging their phone twice a day is common, and it's clear that USB ports are no longer a luxury, but instead they're essential in every space where people spend time. And in our homes, people are spending time in two major places, usually their kitchen or their living room. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we offer. Next slide, please. But first, I want to make sure everybody understands the technologies available. So simple type A and type C here on the picture. But how many electronic devices do you still use from 1996? I would say most people would say none. And that is when the type A USB port was introduced. And really, it's now become outdated. Type C USB port is, which was introduced in 2014, is now the new standard, and it's on the rise. All of consumer electronics on the market have driven the shift to a smaller connector, a more powerful connection, really because the type A ports are too thick to be designed in devices like your laptops and MacBook Pros, things like that. Also, the Type C port does not require you to plug your cord in a specific direction. It works both ways as opposed to USB-A. And finally, the Type C ports can provide a faster charge for small and larger electronics. So in an effort to cut down on consumer waste, the European Union actually mandated a shift to Type C ports to take effect this coming fall. And California has recently become the first USA to mandate the switch to Type C ports by 2026. So really, this is kind of where we're headed. And let me show you why that is. Next slide, please. So access to the right USB wattage and voltage output is really what matters. So if you've ever plugged your device into a USB port and wondered why is it taking so long, odds are the USB you plugged into didn't have the power output your device was needing. The chart shows the evolution of consumer electronics and the power requirements for those common devices. As the devices have increased, so have the power requirements. And some of the devices are also shipping without charging bricks to save on operation costs. Now, that's great for manufacturers like Apple, but it's not really good for you or your customers. And in fact, that's why we've designed a lineup of USB receptacles to fill the increasing demand and price points that you're looking for. So next slide, please. So in order to keep up with the electronics on the market today, we have 3 tiers. Once again, faster, and fastest USB charging solutions so that we can help you and your customers stay up to speed. The 3 tiers of charging are made up of the first one, which is a 3.1 amp and below. So we have some products that are less than that. The second one is a 6 amp. And the third one is our 30-watt power delivery USB. And this is a unique product because it will allow in the future to go up to a 65-watt solution. And it's also a safety product. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Patson Seymour's fastest product category today features power delivery USB. So if you look at that one that's the fastest, it says 30 watts per port. And so what does that mean? I know we can bore you with a lot of numbers, but ultimately what that means is that phone is going to charge, or that phone is going to charge twice as fast when you plug into this outlet than the other outlets. Okay. And in addition to that, our power delivery has some unique features. I'll talk about those now. The first one is it's got an indicator light. So when you plug your phone in, the indicator light shows up amber. And when your phone is fully charged or to 90% or more charged, that light will turn green. So it gives you a indicator from across the room, hey, my phone's ready to go. In addition to that, it also has an overcurrent protection built into it. The power delivery chipset in our outlet is also included in your phone or your device, and it allows the two to communicate. So there's no overcharging, and once the device is fully charged, the outlet stops presenting power to that particular port. So it's an advantage because it's safer for you. It doesn't the outlet doesn't essentially blow itself up, and you can continue using it for a longer period of time. So next slide here is our next poll question. So I'll read this for you. It says, why is it important to upgrade your homes to power delivery USB charging? It's a multiple choice option. So it's new electronic devices require higher charging outputs. Type C ports are the standard for most new electronics. Power delivery provides the safest and fastest future-ready mobile charging solution available, or all of the above.
We've got about half of the participants answering the question. Wait just another second or two. All right, I'll go ahead and close the poll and share the results.
Terrific.
And there you go. It looks like you have 83% say all of the above, and
Oh, yeah, that looks good. You guys are great students. All right, so if you go to the next slide, please, Emma. A lot of times we get questions like, hey, application, where should I put this in a home? And here's just a few examples. And one of the things I want to highlight here, if you look at the outdoor kitchen living, this is becoming more and more popular. Specifically here in Texas, we see more and more builders beginning to offer outdoor living and spaces as an option, especially as the square footage decreases on the homes. And we have a solution for that. We have, not only do we have weatherproof, but we also have GFCI USBs available. So there is a solution for every area here, as you can see. And if you move on to the next slide, please. And so that does it for USB. I do want to mention, we also have a good, better, best solution for your homes. And we can provide you a draw-dropping appeal for your electrical wiring devices, your switches and outlets, with our Adorn product line, which is considered to be our best. It's more of a designer-friendly, allows you to match features as well as any paint colors that you have. We work with Sherwin-Williams on their most popular paint colors to develop plates that match. So that's available in our Adorn category. Some of you may or may not be using that, but if you show some interest in that, we can help you get connected with somebody that can deliver an outstanding design experience for you. And then we have the better product, which is our Radiant Collection, which is a Decora style product. It's available in 9 different colors, white obviously being the most popular. But I did have a builder recently tell me that it's because of the black that he has a new appreciation for our this product. He uses it in all of his theaters. He uses black light switches and outlets, and he said it is by far one of the best decisions he's made for his home theaters. And then finally, we have the good, which is our basic Trademaster product and toggle switches, not shown here, but it's a value engineered product that's driven to make sure that you can continue to use the Legrand name and in your homes. Next slide, please. And finally, this is our market coverage. As you can see, I'm in the blue there, cover everything from Louisiana to Arizona all the way up to Wyoming. My contact information is there. My counterparts on the West Coast and the East Coast, Ginger Wolf and David Glasscock, always willing to help. So you have essentially contact information for all of us on this page. And then our fearless leader, Bob Fallert, he covers the central or north central U.S. And if there's anything you need from him, you can get a hold of him there. So with that, I'll thank you again for participating and being a part of our program here today. And I'd ask if there's any questions.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Christopher. And it looks like we weren't able to hear the video. So what I might do is I'll go ahead and stop share and reshare and see if there's a different setting that we can, and I'll play the video again and see if anybody has any questions while we're listening to the video.
Okay,
So
terrific.
Go ahead and do a different share option. See if that helps. That was great. So much great information. It's amazing how much the courts have changed over the years since 1996. All right. Well, let me know if you can hear this. If you can't hear it, speak right away and I'll go ahead and stop it, but we'll give it a go.
My name is Ben Smith. I am the Purchasing and Field Operations Manager for SLC Homes. SLC Homes is an arm of Southern Land Company, which has been around since the 80s. But as far as home building goes, we are currently building in the Tennessee, Colorado, and Texas markets. We build a high-end product anywhere between $500 and $1.5 million. Between the 3 states, we're building anywhere between 200 and 250 homes a year. We started introducing power for EV specifically into our homes when the municipality started requiring us to do so. So we are pulling a 240 volt 50 amp circuit to the garage location, and we're offering the Legrand EV charging station as an option to our buyers. It's something that they can choose at time of contract, no matter what time during that contract, since it's kind of a plug and play thing. It's not, a structural option. And it allows them to roll the price of that into their mortgage, so they don't have to come out of pocket for something like that. It is the only EV charging station that we do offer. We don't have any other brands that we offer them. We chose Legrand specifically for our EV charging just because of the relationships that we have, the product. It's a premium product. The representation that we've dealt with Legrand has been top notch, and in our personal opinion, Legrand has the most premium product out there.
All right.
I hope you could hear that much better this time.
Yeah, we could. Thanks, Emma.
Good.
I did see Rick Gregory reached out and said his 2016 EV car does not have any software on the car. So we do plan on releasing a level 2 networked charger over the course of this year. It's not something we offer today, but we will have a product out probably within the next 8 months. So that's the answer to that question.
That's excellent. Have you found that there's any particular type of home or client that or builder that you've been working with that has been making a shift to different outlets in the homes or even the EV chargers?
So yes, we see it pretty much on a weekly basis. I try and visit a few homes in the area wherever I'm traveling. And I see that the adoption, just to give you a quick understanding, the adoption rate that I've calculated for EV charging has been well over 50%. I would say close to 80% of the homes that are being built are including some type of, if not the wiring and outlet inside of the garage. So we're seeing a lot more of that. But as far as the USB is concerned, I would probably say 2022 versus 2023, we saw an increase of about from 20% on average builders including USB as a standard to close to 30% now. So we're seeing a lot more being adopted. Now, the challenge is they're still putting in the USB-A. And I think that is going to turn out to be kind of a challenge for the homeowner in the future, because USB-C is going to become more popular. In fact, I have a USB-A outlet in my house, amongst others, and I can't even plug my iPad into that outlet and it won't charge. Even though I have the right connector and everything like that, it will not charge the iPad. So that gives you an idea of what's to come in the future.
Right. So you're seeing that it's definitely beneficial to be forward thinking in how you're putting your outlets into the home and really focusing on that USB-C if you're going to offer that at all.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent.
I do see it.
Yeah,
I do see
John
another
Borowski.
question here. Yeah, from John. Are your charger systems compatible with all e-vehicles? So the only connector right now that's different on e-vehicles than what we offer is the Tesla connector. And Tesla is very aware of this, and most of their customers are as well. So there is an adapter that they can get from Tesla that will allow them to use our charger, no problem. And so that is available. And again, most of the people that own a Tesla are told about that when they're purchasing it.
John would like to know if we could share this presentations who are with others who are not connected with the Shin Group. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't have any other questions at the moment. I think, did you want to talk at all? I know you have some new rebate options or something that we were talking about earlier. Did you want to share anything about the rebates offered through builder partnerships and how they could take advantage of those?
Absolutely, yes. So we did make some changes to the program and builder partnerships at the beginning of or at the end of last year. And so there are several new categories because we've obviously outdated some products, brought in new products. We have the EV charging is on there. We have an additional rebate incentive if you do USB specialty devices in the home. So those are available as well. But if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. And I can explain that to you, but wanted to make sure everybody knew that those products, some of those categories have changed. We're not trying to pull the rug on you. We just want to make sure that we're updated for the things that you and your customers want. So that is in there today.
That's wonderful. And that's one of the great things about being a partner with builder partnerships. You guys are always on the cutting edge of what the builders are looking for, and we're always on the cutting edge of what you guys are offering. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Christopher. It's been a pleasure meeting with you today. And thank you for, we had a little bit of a glitch at the beginning, but I'm glad we could get that all set up. I do have one more question from John. He said, please describe your definition of EV ready.
So EV ready in essence and in the slide is really going to be the ability to basically plug and play. So when a homeowner moves in, can they grab a level 2 charger and plug it into an outlet and it work? And so to me, that means number one, you're putting in the 60 amp breaker, you're running the wire to the wall, to a wall plate that has a 240 volt outlet. And it's that simple.
Excellent. I hope that answered your question, John. Thank you again for joining us, John. He's a regular for us every week. He comes and joins. He's probably the most educated of all of the people that come and join us on our webinars. He's very well educated on all the different things we talk about. We appreciate him. Thank you again, Chris. I look forward to having you join us again another time. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to Christopher or us if you need us to connect you with Christopher for any particular reason. You should get an email tomorrow thanking you for joining us. And it'll have Christopher's information on there so you can contact him. Thank you again, everybody.
Thanks, Emma.